This boy kept stealing mom's sewing machine, but when Dad saw what he'd done it was heartbreaking. Campbell Remus, known as Bumble to his family, isn't like most 10-year-olds. Instead of being told to get off his Xbox or to turn the TV off, his mom tells him the opposite. Campbell in fact has an unusual hobby for a boy of his age. Instead of spending hours on game consoles, he'd rather spend his time on a sewing machine. But while Campbell has made toys for sick kids, his dad would receive some devastating news. Campbell's mom describes him as being wired really differently, unlike other kids his age. When he was 9 years old, Campbell wanted to purchase some Christmas gifts for sick children at a hospital in his hometown of Hobart in the Australian state of Tasmania. But when he asked his parents, they said no, as much as Campbell wanted to bring a bit of joy to those less fortunate than him. His parents couldn't justify the expense. With 8 other kids to feed as well as their thoughtful son, they were already barely making ends meet. Campbell, however, would remain undeterred. When Campbell told his mom he would make something for them, instead she envisaged a few pictures he'd drawn to brighten up the ward. But Campbell adds something a little more challenging in mind. He went online and found a sewing pattern for a nice stuffed toy. Then when he couldn't decipher it, Campbell asked his mom for help, but she couldn't figure it out either. Determined to see it through, however, the then 9-year-old sat down and worked it out himself. 5 hours later, Campbell turned out his first, albeit rather crooked, stuffed bear. "I had a pattern and wanted to make it, and I knew I could do it if I practiced," Campbell told. "Mom told me just don't sew your finger, but I've done that a few times and once all the way through." However, he wasn't going to let mere sewing-related injuries hold him back entirely. Self-taught, Campbell continued to develop his skills with the sewing machine. As he turned out his 4th bear, he was already starting to get quite good at it. And each bear was being produced in a shorter time. It was then that he had the idea for Project 365. Campbell devised a plan to make 1 bear a day to give away to sick kids in need of a little joy in their lives. His reward for the gesture: he simply got a kick out of seeing their faces light up. "They smile and hug me, it makes their whole day better," he told. And over the past 3 years, Campbell, now 12 years old, has brightened the days of nearly 1,000 kids. In 2016, alone, he would produce more than 400 stuffed toys, raising around $4,000 for charity. His tally is now in excess of 800 pairs. Meanwhile, he makes regular visits to his local hospital. Campbell's mom, Sonia Whitaker, was blown away by what her son has achieved. "It's an incredible thing to witness. One small idea, one small gesture can make huge impacts." It was an impact that was also destined to be felt closer to home. In 2011, Campbell's dad, Nathan, had been diagnosed as having cancer, though a mass as large as a tennis ball was removed. During treatment, he was warned that there was an 80% chance that the cancer could return. His son knew exactly what he needed to do. "When we discovered his dad had cancer, it was really upsetting, but knowing the impact his toys have on kids, he then made a bear for his dad. His cancer gets worse with stress, so I made him the bear so he could get rid of the cancer, and it seems to have been working." Since Campbell gave his dad the bear, the cancer stayed away. In fact, it's the longest Nathan has been free from cancer, since he was first diagnosed. There's a little bit of magic in them, a lot of magic in Campbell, though it's a magic that he sends to children throughout the world. And while most of the toys Campbell makes are bears, there are also other animals in his repertoire, using materials of the softest, brightest and most colorful kind. Each creature is customized with the recipient child's name. One mom of a child who was given a bear wrote, "Campbell, you really do bring sunshine to people's lives. It's amazing how something so simple as a teddy bear can make such a difference. I hope everyone can take a piece of your message and pay it forward." But as well as giving away bears, Campbell Lawson takes them to auction for charity. He's raised money in aid of domestic violence support charities as well as to help the homeless. Campbell has also collected several awards for his project. In 2016 he won his state's Young Citizen of the Year award as well as being an Outstanding Achiever finalist in the Tasmanian Community Achievement Awards. Lots of people like skateboarding and socializing with their friends. I just like coming home and sewing, Campbell told SBS. His mom added if Campbell could be on that sewing machine 24/7 he would. Sonia said Campbell has just wired really differently. He looks at sadness and tries to turn it upside down. It came as no surprise to the mom that the project was such a success. He is not a quitter. I only see bigger and brighter things for him. For Campbell the objective is clear as he continues to make stuffed animals. He relies on donations to keep his project going. He said, I think being kind and not mean will change the world. It's a goal he seems to be achieving one stuffed toy at a time.